One of the freelancers I do a lot of work with just recently had a health scare. And while he was out, it just highlighted something that's really important to me as a business person, as an entrepreneur, as a founder, as a solopreneur, whatever it is. You've got to take care of yourself in order to take care of your business. You've got to be selfish in order to be selfless. Here's what I mean and how you can start doing that now. Hey, what's up? I'm Ray Green, former executive turned nomad entrepreneur, and I'm the founder of Repeatable Revenue, which is a growth coaching company for service businesses. And because of what I do with founders, I get some unique insights into what other founders and service providers and entrepreneurs are doing. And one of the things that we actually do in one of our programs is require a time audit as part of the onboarding process. And in that time audit, I've seen some really interesting patterns, right? And two things come to mind. One is most entrepreneurs I know are working hard as hell. Like, they are hardworking people. Like, you can see in the sheer number of hours, the volume of work that goes into what they're doing. So the work ethic is really surreal, which is actually the second thing, which is the flip side to that work ethic. And because they are working so damn hard and they are putting in so many hours and the volume of effort is there, they're oftentimes sacrificing their health, their physical health, their mental health in order to help other people, in order to move the business forward, drive more sales, help their clients, respond to all of the needs. And that's just within the business. Like, a lot of people, including myself, we've got families too, so they are giving of themselves, trying to get all of it done, and they're sacrificing themselves in the process. I'm here to tell you it is a huge mistake. It is a huge mistake because you are the heart and soul of your business. You are the vision. You are the strategy. If you're a solopreneur, you're even the service provider and doing the delivery and the fulfillment. You're part of the product, but you are the business. You are the most important asset in your business. And if you're not treating yourself that way, that's just bad business. You're going to burn out at some point. Like, most of us, myself included, I've gone through these times where I think I'm superhuman. I've got all of the energy and I've got all of the focus. Like, I can do this, and I'll keep rolling. At some point later in the future, then I'll actually fix this, right? And we think we're superhuman. You're not. You're going to break down in one way or another at some point, physically, emotionally, mentally, whatever that is. The second thing is, while you're doing this, even if you are doing it for some future state, right? Like, I'll slow down, or I'll take better care of myself later. During the process, you're operating at half battery, right? Like, you're the most important thing in the business. You're the CEO, you're the founder, you're determining where everything is going. If you have a team, you're the leader, you're the manager. On a good day, you're operating at half battery. If you're exhausted, if you're tired, if you're burnt out, you're not making good decisions. You're not processing information properly. You're not responding emotionally the way that you probably should. So even during the process, you're making shit harder on yourself. The bottom line is, if you're not performing at peak levels, then your business is not performing at peak levels. And that, in my view, is why you've got to make your physical health and your mental health a strategic business priority, not just something that you do just to take care of yourself, although would be nice if that was the top priority. But even if the business is your main priority, you've got to take care of yourself in order to take care of the business. I'm not necessarily talking about you have to join the 4 a.m. club. I'm not necessarily saying you've got to meditate for hours or you've got to take, ice baths every day. I'm not necessarily prescribing the things that you've got to do. And there's certainly a million ways that you could be doing this. I'll share a few of mine here in just a minute. I'm just talking about keeping yourself at top mental and physical performance levels so that your business can too. We actually just did this with a client recently. One of my clients came in as part of the onboarding. He wanted to make his health one of the priorities that we made for the business. We made it one of the objectives, and he started doing his walking. In a matter of 3 months, he lost 20 pounds. He felt better. He was making better decisions. He was sleeping better. His business was thriving, and it started with just simple walks, just taking care of himself. So he's doing better and his business is doing better. So it's a win-win. So what I really want you to take, if nothing else from all of this, is taking care of yourself isn't selfish. Like, it is strategic. It is an important part of your business. Now, I'll share with you 3 things that have helped me, and they may not work for you, right? But I'll share 3 tactical things that have helped me do exactly this so that I can run my business, be a better manager, be a better dad, be a better service provider to my clients. And I'll dive into what these are. So the first one is probably the one that most people will consider most extreme, is I block out almost all of my mornings until 10 a.m. With very, very rare exceptions. My mornings are mine. And what I do on that, a typical morning, is I live exactly to a T 3.0 miles from my gym. So I leave in the morning after I get the kids ready, they go to school. I walk 3 miles to the gym. I spend about 15 minutes in the gym lifting weights, doing something like that. And then I walk 3 miles back. So I walk 6 miles a day. In all, it takes about 95 minutes, takes 100 minutes or so. You may say, holy shit, that's really extreme. I can't take an hour and a half or 2 hours out of my day. But listen, it's not all just me and myself. Like I will go out and that's where I do some creative brainstorming. That's where I think through some copy for a landing page. It's where I may think of ideas like this one. It may be not work related at all. It may be I'm listening to some podcasts. It may be I'm zoning out. That time is going to be mine. If it's work related, more often than not, it's going to be the deep work that I need to be doing, that I need to have the highest levels of energy and creativity and those kinds of things for. That's why I like it in the morning. And if it's not work related, it's going to be my time. It's going to do my self-development, my learning, maybe journaling, maybe hopping on a call or something like that. But no scheduled meetings. I'm not sitting in front of a Zoom call. And as extreme as it may sound, that's how I have the time for the deep work that I need to be doing. It's how I have time for creative work that I know I've got to get to. It's how I have the headspace to think through decisions and give certain things the level of thought and the respect, frankly, that they deserve, instead of trying to like run through the day and sprint just at the surface level. It's physical health, it's mental health, it's personal, it's professional, it's my time, right? So that's the first thing that I do. The second thing is keep a personal scorecard. Okay, so I have a bad habit of being overly ambitious with goals, and I'll say, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to read this many books, I want to run this many miles, I want to, whatever it is. If you actually add it up, there's no possible way that I could achieve all of the goals that I really have. So what I do is I pick some number, usually around 5 or so, and I say these are my most important goals. And I have a personal scorecard. If I hit that goal, give myself a 1. If I didn't hit that goal that day, I give myself a 0. My goal is to have a certain number of points at the end of each day. That's how I look at it. And I say, cool, I hit 5 out of the 10, or I hit 3 out of the 5. And that way I'm not kicking myself in the ass going, God, well, I know I did these things, but I didn't do these things over here. I've got a scorecard. I've got my primary goals listed. Some days I hit one, some days I hit another, but I'm going to hit my score one way or the other. And I use that personal scorecard to just make sure, one, that I'm focused on the right thing. It forces me to have goals, right? And I put them on a spreadsheet and I document them. And when I've got one like fully ingrained as a habit, or it's no longer important, swap it out, delete it. So it forces me to have goals. The other thing it does is allows me to be balanced in how I'm attaining those goals, right? Like, so I'm not trying to do everything at once. Or if I have too many goals at one time, I'm still giving myself the personal credit and not beating myself up for not hitting everything across the board, right? Which I know a lot of high performers oftentimes do. The third thing that I do is just make time to detach, right? Like just make time to get outside of the studio, outside of the keyboard, outside of your office, and go be something other than a business person. Last weekend, I was with my family at the beach. For a full year, my wife and I did no device on Sundays, right? So no phones on Sundays at all, no devices at all. In fact, there's a number of ways that you can do that, but making sure that you put time into your schedule to detach intentionally from the business and be a better dad, be a better husband, be a better friend. Here's the interesting thing. When you allow yourself to do that, to detach, to go have fun, to go play, to go do something else, you'd be surprised at how many great business ideas come to you, or how many solutions that you've been racking your brain trying to get actually just like spontaneously come up. When you get outside of this zone that you're in all the time, you start processing information differently, right? Like you entertain options that you may not entertain sitting behind your desk. You are getting different inputs, right? Like maybe you're talking to your friend and he or she says something that sparks it. You're like, I hadn't thought about that. You're actually breaking the pattern. You're getting more inputs. You're relaxing. You get out, and while you're playing, how many business solutions come to you in that process? Although that's not why you should go into it. But here's the thing. When I don't have time to do these things, I look at my business as not performing well. If I don't have time to own the morning, if I don't have time to detach, if I'm not hitting my goals or maintaining my scorecard, then I'm looking at my business and I'm saying my business is failing, because I started my business for more autonomy. I started my business for more freedom. I didn't start it to work longer than I did in 9 to 5. I didn't start it to have less freedom than I did in the 9 to 5. I didn't have it to give up my lifestyle. I could have done that for a high paycheck. I did this to have a better lifestyle. And if I'm not able to do that, I look at my business and say, the business is failing. So what do I need to do as the founder or as the CEO, even if I'm a solopreneur, to make changes to the systems so that the business can actually deliver what I designed it to deliver or what I started it to deliver. And if I'm not at my peak levels, I'm not going to be able to make those decisions. I'm not going to be able to identify the changes that need to happen in order to get me there. Physical, mental health, it's a priority for you, but make it a priority for your business. And I hope that I've given you a few ideas to work with here. And if they're a little extreme, cool, make your own. Just make it a priority. I hope you found this helpful. If you have, go ahead and subscribe to the channel for more business building advice. Adios.